I am a elementary teacher leader at Brookside Elementary, 6th grade English teacher at Odyssey Academy, and an adjunct professor in the literacy department at St. John Fisher College. So we had a needs assessment that was conducted earlier in the school year with Brookside families, and what really was elicited from that survey is that parents needed more help with Common Core standards, understanding it, and then being able to transfer that into the home setting and really helping their kids understand the standards and what they needed to do with homework and whatnot. The current class that I teach at St. John Fisher College is entitled Administration and Supervision of Reading and Writing, and we really hone in on a systemic view of literacy, reading and writing instruction, and we do a lot of work with professional development. So the head of my literacy department secured a grant, and we decided that we were going to take the grant money and utilize it here at Brookside Elementary. And I thought it would be a great experience for the kids in the literacy program as well as the family and students of Brookside Elementary. Now, when we think about parents and our community members, the website that is put out by EngageNY is incredibly important because there are a lot of resources on that particular website, and it's in non-technical terms. So it's the language that parents understand. It's broken down, so it's just not the educational jumbo. That was incredibly important, I believe, as well.
Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to walk you through your parents and family resources. So if you look in your right hand corner at the top, it says Parents and Families. You don't even have to click on it, just put your mouse over it. And the first section I want you to go to, it says Resources for Parents and Families. And then scroll over to Guides for Common Core Standards. It's got the shifts that students and parents are going to be more easily able to understand. You also have a parent guide for Common Core learning, what parents need to know, parent's guide to student success, Common Core for families, parent guide to Common Core standards, the P through 12 Common Core learning standards, and parent roadmaps to Common Core for math. All right, so your next one I want you guys to go to is go back up to that parents and families and over to the resources, is the educational activities. This is one of my favorite ones because it gives you things you can do with your kids at home. So you can look, there's 6 different options. They've got a math magician, it's online games. There's a grading pre, which is a fun activity that helps students work on their fluency, which is a big thing in Common Core. The diaper derby, which I think is hilarious, helps students work on their fluency as well. Then there's math apps for the iPad. So you can work on them through the computer, or you can also download them if you have an iPad or a tablet at home. Dare to Compare is questions from their mathematics and social studies, not social studies, I'm sorry, science standards, plus their civic education study. And then the online virtual electronic library gives you a bunch of newspapers, magazines, maps, charts, all kinds of things you would need for free to be able to do maybe some reading with your student, show them how you read, things like that. Right, back up to parents and families, there's one more resource, there's videos. And these are usually pretty short. They're about 14 minutes or less. They're going to go through a bunch of different things that you need. The first one goes over the Common Core standards or for the assessments. So basically a 3 through 8 state assessments for English, language arts, and math. You've got the Common Core ELA literacy, which is an overview. The math overview. And then you have a new foundation for student success. So your next section you're going to go to under the parent and families is the parent and family library. This, you can actually find some of the stuff that's in the resources also in the library. But in addition to that, there's also, if anybody in here has students with additional disabilities, there's a section for Common Core resources for those types of parents. And then you also have, it's parent resources grade 3 through 8 ELA and math tests. All right, and then one last resource I have for you guys, if you want to open a new tab, Google BOCES, B-O-C-E-S, I can statements. It's the very first one that comes up. It's Nassau BOCES. And it's broken down sample learning targets for every grade level. It's the Common Core learning standards in kid language. A lot of teachers have these posted in their classroom depending on what lesson plan they're teaching that day. So say, for instance, I'm going to go to a first grade learning standard target. And if they're reading literature, an I can statement they might have in their classroom that day says, I can ask questions about important details in a text. that directly relates back to a Common Core standard. And so it makes it kid-friendly, and that way they know they're learning what they're supposed to be learning. And they'll be able to tell teachers, yes, I understand what we went through today, or no, I'm still struggling, that kind of thing.
What I'm going to show you now is where to go on the Common Core to actually pull up the lessons and what your child is learning that day in school, as well as like the homework, and that way if you need to, you can review it and then be able to better understand it in order to help your child, because it's just the way things are going today. So if you go over to the top left where it says Common Core, put your mouse over that, and then go click down on the Common Core curriculum. And this also is going to pull up the grade appropriate. So you can go, let's say you want to do your child's in 3rd grade, you can click on the grade 3 English Language Arts, and that is going to pull up the different modules your child is doing. Now, where your child is right now is probably, I know I teach 3rd grade, so we're on Module 3A, we're doing the Peter Pan unit right now, so your child's probably somewhere in between there. So you would actually scroll down to where it says Module 3A. And you can choose the lessons that they are learning, or if you click on the actual Module 3A itself, it's going to pull up how to download the entire module. So you can look at the overview statements as well as the individual lessons, and you can save it right to your computer. And inside of each one of these that are grade appropriate, like you can say, so if your kid comes home and is like, okay, Mom, I have to read chapter 8 for Peter Pan tonight for homework, you'll be able to ask them what lesson did you do. They should be able to tell you with the worksheets that they have done, as well as the homework. It'll say right on the top, lesson 9 is what we were doing. And in here you can go right on to lesson 9, see the I can statements that the children have been learning that day. You can look at the overview of the general broad, what they needed to learn, what their writing task was, what the reading task was, and actually how to assess it with them. And this goes through for each grade. If you click on the mathematics part where it'll say, like, again, you can go to the grade that your child does, you can click on the modules. Some of the math modules, and right now they're currently updating it, you can, once you go on, click on where it says, click on the module 1, and then scroll to the bottom. There's actually a PDF download for the answers on the work that they did in school, for the homework, how to do it. And I know myself, sometimes just knowing the answer is able to explain, helps you to explain it a little bit better and easier to the student and to your child. Now, they haven't updated it for every single lesson and every single module. They are progressively, slowly putting it up there, but I think it's just a good thing to know, just in the off chance that you are struggling that night at home. And a lot of times, actually all the time, when your child brings home the homework, at the bottom of it, it'll actually tell you, what lesson and what module and what lesson they're on, so you'll better know how to navigate through here to find where they're at.
I would really like to thank Dr. Kathy Broyku for securing the grant funds to put this on here at Brookside Elementary, and I would also like to thank my graduate students at St. John Fisher. They worked very hard. They were very nervous to do this, but really they did a really fantastic job.